Good evening and welcome to The Bottom Line. News about your neighborhood and its condition. News that will allow you to make informed decisions. From downtown to Dover and everywhere in between, it's news that reaches the residents of Wilmington and Newcastle County. News that's real, relevant, and revealing. Yes, it's The Bottom Line. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of The Bottom Line. My name is Nicole DeSarette, and I am happy to be one of your hosts tonight. We are excited about the information that we have to share with you, and we don't take it for granted that you are joining us this evening. Well, spring is definitely in the air. We are approaching some record-breaking temperatures for this week, so definitely enjoy it. Next week, we're going to take a little shift, so let me just give you a heads up. Daylight savings time is coming to an end on Saturday. Let me hear you. So you're going to lose an hour. So just get ready for that. And you can already see the changes in the daylight, and it's just really wonderful. And hopefully we are completely finished with those little white things called snowflakes. So I know I'm ready for spring, and hopefully you are as well. So today is March, what is it? The 8th? 7th. The 7th? I can't keep up. Mr. Dave knows what day it is because today's his birthday. Happy birthday. Can we get a shot of the birthday boy? Hurry up. Because I know they don't like pictures.
No, can't do it.
Okay, we'll get him in another time. So he remembers what the date is because it's his birthday, and I've forgotten what the day is because my birthday is coming. My birthday is Saturday, okay. And I'll be celebrating the 13th anniversary of my 37th birthday. So, and that's all it is. Don't call it anything else but that. All right. Let me just give you an overview of some other things that are happening in the month of March. March, as you know, is Women's History Month, so we will be bringing you some information about famous women in history, not only across the country, but famous women right here in Delaware. It is also National Nutrition Month, so we've got to give you some information about how to take care of yourself. And it's also Frozen Food Month. So we'll be giving you some information, and hopefully we can get Abundance to do another demonstration. We always enjoy her presentations here in the studio. Well, the Bottom Line crew is here, and we are ready to go. We have Elder Ty Johnson. We have Miss Deneen White. We have Miss Brittany Michelle, and we have Miss Renee Bull. I believe our captain, State Rep Charles Potter, is going to join us a little later. If not, he has entrusted the show to us, and we're going to have a good time, and we're going to give you a lot of information. So stay tuned. Are you ready, Elder Ty?
Super.
Take it away.
We say hello to everybody everywhere. God bless you, and welcome one more time, one more week for The Bottom Line. Woo, Lord. Let me tell you, brothers, something. You better get up early, boy, if you think you're going to get in front of these women. You're just not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. They here tonight. They're in rare form, and I didn't even know March was Women's History Month. Lord have mercy. But I know I was the only male down here, and they told me to get over there, do your news, and just be quiet. So I'm going to do my news, and we're going to get it on. Happy birthday, Dave. We love you. Thank you for all that you do. And we got to take an opportunity to say happy birthday to everybody. I'm Pisces myself. Happy birthday, Nicole. God bless you. And that 37-year-old thing. And that's where we're going to keep it at. Look here. Former First Lady Nancy Reagan has passed at the blessed age of 94. And you all remember her. That was Ronald Reagan. See, not the young people. I ain't going to play it like that. They should stop. No, but some of us remember her. because she was the one she was an actor. She married then President Ronald Reagan, who was an actor, and they hit it on for a love spout, and she was the rock up under his feet. She held him up on years. In so much as you might remember her, she was the one that took the war to the heat to the concrete first. She said, just say no. Many of us didn't believe that just say no would work, but it starts with a thought, then it's a word, then it's an action, then it's a deed. It becomes a habit. And if you can learn just to say no, then God will do the rest. Amen? And then you might remember, excuse me, when her husband was declared, it was determined that he was ridden with cancer, I believe it was, Alzheimer's. She did not, thank you very much, Alzheimer's. She did not leave his side. Oh, what a woman, what a woman. See how that thing works, y'all? See how I worked that in for Women's Month? You know what I mean? Black women and women, period. All women. So she has a shining example of stand by your man. Congratulations to that whole family, and we're mourning with you in the loss and transition of former First Lady Nancy Reagan. Meanwhile, former Secretary Hillary Clinton and the Burnster duking it out like never before. Foo, 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 foo. Good God. And Hillary was serving. I know my friend Julius Cephas is watching. Julius, get your popcorn, boy, because that Hillary wasn't, look, she wasn't taking nothing light. She was going at him. Bird said, would you let me talk? Can I talk, Hillary? Can I talk? Can I finish? Can I just finish what I'm saying? He's shaking and all that. Hillary says, go ahead. I tell you, you can't fool with the women like that, man. The one thing, they talked about gun control. And then Bernie hit her with a left. Bam! So what about those people you bailed out down at Wall Street? And then Hillary came right back and said, no, it wasn't all about the money. It was about the other stuff that was in the bill. And I said, y'all just doing the same old thing. That's why Trump is doing what he doing, because people are getting tired of y'all talking about back and forth about the same old, lip slapping. And then they said something real interesting that I admired. They said that both of them agreed that the folks who are responsible for what went on in Flint, Michigan should and will be held accountable. Can you say amen? Can you say amen? They're going to be held accountable. They didn't say whether anybody was going to jail, but this reporter, I like the way this reporter is going to be watching closely. Now, in the midst of what some has called the personality clash, the Wilmington Housing Authority Chair, Commissioner Herm Holloway Jr., and the Executive Director, here there's Herm on the TV screen there. He and Director Fred Purnell had been going at it. Some say it was personality. Herm says that, I call him Herm, I'm sorry, Herm. Herman Holloway Jr., Commissioner Chair, Mr. Chairman says it didn't have nothing to do with personality. It had all to do with the way Mr. Purnell was talking to the seniors. He talked down to our seniors, and they had a bed bug problem in the high rises, and Mr. Purnell didn't act fast enough. Well, some of the folks are saying Purnell was good, Herm. What happened? Purnell did some good things. Herm said, I don't care about the good things. You just don't talk to my seniors any kind of way, and you're supposed to be on top of your job when it comes to them high rises. And Herm said, I'm not playing about this. I'm very serious. It went on. And guess what, y'all? Fred Purnell has announced that he's stepping down at the end of this month. Real talk. So I don't know if that's a victory or not, but I know our seniors aren't to be played with. Congratulations to all of those of you who still loving on the seniors. I'm with Herm on this one, y'all. Love you, Fred, but you're going to get a fat unemployment check, all right? And somebody's going to hire you, just not around here, all right? All right, God bless you. Look, meanwhile, y'all know I don't fear or favor. This is the bottom line, isn't it? Make up. Forehead starting to get shiny here. Listen, meanwhile, over at Howard Young Correctional Institution, a.k.a. Gander Hill, they've got an influenza breakout. Oh, yeah. Not letting anybody in, right? shut all the activities down. I've been checking, I've been snooping. You can't snoop too much over there. You know them boys riding around with dogs. I don't fool with them dogs like that. Dogs and cars, and they watching, so they're not letting people in. No visits, nobody's moving around in there or nothing. We got to keep our eye on that. I got some questions like, what about the guards? Are they being infected, impacted by this? Who's treating them? What about the folks who are returning? 97% of the folks who go into prison are coming back to our neighborhood. Anybody telling us what's going on? Or anybody checking the folks that's going to be getting out because they've only been in there, they're only being detained in there. So when it's time for them to get out, will they get treatment because they've been impacted? How Arsenio used to do that, y'all? Just the way I do it. We're going to keep an eye on that, all right? Meanwhile, I got some more news, and then I got to turn it over to the ladies because they hot tonight. They're hot tonight. Young man was shot and killed on 6th and Washington Street, but it has not deterred the folks from coming together. Connections is at the table. The Porter State Service Center at the table. We were there with Dwight Davis, who is heading the West Side Civic Association. Also, some other folks who live in the area, just to talk about how do we come together. We want to thank Captain Geswicki for showing up and doing his thing and bringing us together. And we got police officers coming by now to help out because there was a big fight out there outside, and the police were called, and police didn't show up. I said, well, that's not going to happen. Let's get on this. So we got on it. The Lord blessed us, moved his hand, and now the police are showing up 3 days, right, a week, and they're signing in just to say, well, we're here, and we're going to ensure that at least the people who are serving the people will be safe, and at least the people who come to get the services will be safe. Oh, somebody say amen. Come on, say amen, somebody. No, thank you very much. Hallelujah. The family of Jeremy McDowell, the young man who was shot 16 times by the Wilmington Police Department while he sat in his wheelchair. It's alleged that he had a gun, alleged, right? Police shot him 16 times, the family suing. So we'll be praying for the family because the family said they're still seeking justice, and they're going to get it no matter what. Congratulations, keep seeking the justice. And congrats to the Delaware Repeal Group, the Culture of Peace Group, Moral Mondays, and Wishful Wednesdays, the Black Lives Matter Group, CTAC, and everybody that showed up Saturday for the repeal of the death penalty. And Sandra Pitts, congratulations to her for doing a wonderful job of emceeing and getting that thing off the ground. Big Keith did a good job. Keith Booker, God bless you, Keith. And God bless all those who don't even get mentioned, man. Just because you don't get the headlights, you don't get the camera, that don't mean that we don't love you and you aren't making a difference. And for those of you who've yet not come to the light, come to the light. Come to the light, Caroline. We need you. Amen? Amen. One last thing. Yours truly will be running for office. And I'll be making that announcement this Friday at 11:30. That's right. Hey, Mom, you going to leave me alone? My mom's been treating me just like I'm Tommy off of Martin. Yes, she have. Mom, I've been running out there getting souls saved. She said, well, what? Please run for something. Like she going to leave here and I don't have a real job. I've been running for Jesus and I'm not tired yet. But now I got to run for office. I'll be announcing that I'm going to be running for councilman at large this Friday. For those who want to join me, you're welcome. Friday at 23rd and Washington Streets, where I'm taking the heat to the concrete. My profile has not yet changed. And that's the bottom line. I'm taking it over to the ladies, and they're not going to be playing. Good God, they got the smoke. Yeah, I'm telling you, they got the smoke. Don't take care of me. Give me no makeup, though. I don't understand what's going on.
Oh, my goodness. The energy in
Elder
Studio
Ty.
C.
He's hilarious.
can't really
oh my
compete with
gosh.
that, really.
We can't follow that.
We don't have that kind of energy over
We
here, but we
don't.
do want to thank you guys for staying connected with The Bottom Line. We can absolutely feel the love on our Facebook page. You guys are checking out our YouTube videos, and so we're really excited about the following that we're getting with this show. We're talking about some hot topics. We're keeping you guys informed. Hopefully, we're educating you about a few things, and you guys are riding with us. So we appreciate you at home, and we thank you for inviting us into your living room every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. So, ladies,
Yes.
we got a few things to talk about,
much
right?
to talk about.
I mean, there's so much going on in the news right now. But the first thing is first. It's Women's History Month, right?
Right.
Okay, so I just want to ask you guys very briefly, what kind of history are you creating or contributing as a woman?
Interesting. Okay. I guess I'll go first. The history that I'm hoping to contribute as a woman is just doing my part to empower other women like myself to just believe in themselves, go after their dreams, go after their aspirations, and just do it unapologetically.
So if you had to name one person who you kind of model that after, who would it be? Who's someone that you look up to, somebody who inspires you, someone who, you know, says, I want to do that, I want to be like that?
Oh my goodness, I really can't name one person. I feel
Really?
like I've been
It's
inspired
so
by a
many.
collection of people.
Okay.
Probably too many that I, can't even name. My mother, you know what? It's different people for different reasons.
Absolutely. So Renee,
Yes.
what kind of impact are you making?
I think I'm all about mentorship, and I'm all about the bigger picture. Like, I want young people to realize that they can be whatever they want to be. So I think that my impact is to encourage other people to give back, and I guess to be an example of that, because that's like so huge to me. That's why I started my nonprofit, and that's also why I wanted you to touch more about what you're doing with your women and empowering others and things
Okay.
like that, because I mean, we need to hear about it. But yeah, I really think that empowering and mentorship is like the big thing I want to do with my life. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I do have some. I don't want to say too much because it's just
Say
in the
a little
works.
bit.
Okay, I'll say a little bit. I'm going to have.
Protect your grace.
You have to protect my grace. Not everything is confirmed yet, but I am going to have an event first or second weekend of April.
Yes.
Put it this way, all you women who either have businesses and want to start businesses and you're worried about your personal brand on social network and everything because you don't have quote unquote professional pictures done, get ready to bring your business cards, get ready to pose, get ready to work it.
All right.
That's all I will say for now.
I'm excited.
So that's exciting. So we're definitely looking forward to hearing more about what you got going on the second week of April. So we'll definitely keep you guys informed. The contribution that I would say that I'm making, I just want to represent possibilities.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I just want to show people that it's possible, regardless of where you come from, your background, your education level. It really doesn't matter. As long as you have a drive, you know, and you make a decision.
Right.
You know, your
That's the
future
biggest
lies in just a
thing.
simple decision.
Right. Yeah.
And so when you're bold enough to walk in the direction of your dreams and aspirations, you can realize anything that you want in this world. And I just want to represent the possibilities of that.
Yeah.
And so I'm praying that, you know, my daughter and other women coming up behind me, girls coming up behind me, will actually be able to look at me one day and say, because of her, I didn't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump in. We got some hot things to talk about,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So first things first, I think you had a hot topic for us to discuss.
I wanted to talk about the Oscars because
Right.
I know we mentioned Oscars so wide, and then we had a lot of people who were boycotting the event and a lot of people that didn't even watch the event.
Right.
So I wanted to see, like, what did you all think about the opening number or the opening monologue that Chris Rock presented, because he was the host for this year's Oscars.
Right.
What did you think? Did you think he went too far? Because some people said he went too far and, you know, it wasn't appropriate. And some people thought he did a great job in the position that he had to be in. What do you think?
Well, you know what? I didn't even see the whole thing. I just saw
Yeah.
little snippets.
Yeah.
I could see how some people would have gotten offended by it, but in the same respect, there are a lot of things where people can get offended by that. Like, he didn't do anything different. You know, the little things are mentioned all the time about black folk, and we just laugh it off like, ha, ha, ha. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends in the eye of the beholder. That Stacey Dash thing, that was very uncomfortable
was
to
very
watch.
awkward.
I'm sure it was for her, especially.
It was awkward.
But you know, when it comes to the Oscars, I mean, we were just talking about women and history and
Right.
empowerment and everything like that. And Jada Pinkett Smith actually took a stand when it came to the Oscars, and she was the one who kind of started this whole boycotting thing, right? And some people followed suit. And so she was actually making a statement in her stance, and he kind of made fun of that and gave her a little
Yeah.
jab at her, right?
Oh no,
He
what did he
did.
say?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
those
Her
who
wild-
didn't see
he-
the whole thing.
So he had mentioned, like in his opening act, like it's
She
not a
wasn't
big
inviting
deal
it.
that Jada's boycotting. It's almost like, you know, you're boycotting something that no one wanted you to attend in the first place. So it was kind of like jab,
Wow.
jab here. And so it was almost like people were like, well, why did you have to bring Jada into it when she was trying to take a stand for not only women, but also as just for the black community, black
For African
Hollywood.
Americans.
Black
as a
Hollywood,
whole.
right? Exactly.
So-
So, and I mean, it's open book information
Yeah.
that everybody knows that you
Yeah.
know black actors have always struggled in Hollywood.
Right.
You know, and being a theater major myself, and you know,
Oh, so you
always
took
having
this
the
to heart.
dream. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I, not so much really taking it to heart. Like I didn't boycott the Oscars.
Right.
I didn't watch because I
I'm not
never watch it.
watching. Yeah.
But I didn't take it that far.
Right.
Everybody has their own reasons for doing things, and I have
Right.
mine. But let's jump over. We're talking about race, so why not talk about Biden's most recent comment about Trump? And him actually thanking him, right? Thanking him for making us look into the mirror and confronting this institutional racism that happens, you know, so often and has been happening for years,
Yeah.
right? So there's happening in Hollywood, it's happening all around the world.
It's happening
All
in politics,
around.
it's happening in our neighborhoods. I mean, it's happening.
I'm just glad that our president and our vice president, I mean, on the way out, they're just
Yeah.
saying what they want to say. They're doing what they want to do. They're
really
getting
are.
their last words out. I'm very proud of them
I
for
just
that.
wish that they would start talking about things that we care about. You know, I mean, they're touching on some things, but it's more of like this tick for tack. You know, you say something about my mom, I say something about yours.
Right.
You
Right.
know, type of thing.
Become very
And
catty.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
especially on Trump's side. I mean, when
There's no substance.
Yeah.
when you just see it, especially Trump, oh my goodness, he is such an attention
Grabber, seeker.
attention grabber and seeker, and I just can't imagine that being my president, someone who's just stooping so low and when talking about other people. I mean, who goes on a rant on Twitter about the other, about the
Kanye
things that are
West.
going
Well,
on?
a person
Like
that
Kanye
has
West
nothing else to
goes
talk
on
about.
rants on Twitter.
Yeah, like you want to be a respected
That's really
person that
good.
people of all walks of life who are in America can trust in what you say and
Yeah.
trust your judgment, but he's just a very immature individual to me.
Yeah, so it's an interesting topic, and I think that it's more interesting. I was just looking at Biden's comment online, and it says the country now has an obligation to address institutional racism. We all knew of it. Let's see, we all kind of knew it, but we didn't quite talk about it, right? And that's so true. You know, it's
Right.
been happening forever, but we never quite confront it. But now's the time that we have to confront how in some sectors and many sectors, you know, there's restrictions for voting and there's restrictions for getting credit, obtaining credit, you know, based on your financial status. And most people who are not of a certain status don't qualify for so much. You know, it's interesting, me being a realtor, I find that a lot of the condo associations like don't accept certain types of financing because they don't want certain types of, you know.
Just little things to
It's all
filter out.
systematic. Yeah.
It's all very
Yeah,
systematic.
yeah.
It
And
is.
so there's so many things happening out
Yeah.
in the, you know, in the field, and you really have to pay attention.
And I feel like everything is going back to race now. I mean, everything.
Yeah.
And it's almost like bothersome because I you know, I realize that it is a huge thing at times. But I mean, it's going to the point where you can't get on Instagram and just look at and like people's pictures without them saying, well, this person is appropriating culture, or this person thinks they're black, or this person. You know, why can't we live in a world where, okay, she likes the way this girl wore her hair and she happened to be black and this girl's white, and it's just not that deep to me.
I think
I
that
just-
we've gotten away from the real focus, right?
Right.
Because I teach my children that, you know, be proud of your heritage, be
Yeah.
proud of who you are, you know, love your curls. You know, me and my
Yeah.
daughter wear her natural, but don't be anti anything.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Learn
like
to accept and
still
respect
love
the
and
other races all in
respect
one.
and accept
Yeah.
other people, you know,
Yeah.
of other races and cultures, and
Yeah.
and so I think we've kind of gotten away from the real focus, and the real focus is to be a united nation. It's not to drive, you know, one
Every little
party this
thing.
way, another party
Every
that
little thing
way.
is like, we're separate.
What
Every
are we
little
really
thing, we're
teaching?
separate.
Everything. I
It's
absolutely agree with
crazy.
you said, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking about it now every time I go on Facebook, now that I'm back on social media. It really is just
It's so
broken down
much.
in simplest form. Oh, this
Yeah.
is a black thing.
Yeah.
She's doing that. It's
Yeah.
disrespectful to me.
Yeah.
You don't
So
always
let's-
have to look in everything in that direction.
Let's talk really quickly, and I know we got to jump over to a hot interview that's happening back over in
Yes,
Studio C.
can't wait to watch this one.
But let's just talk really quickly about crime. I mean, how does that relate to the black men that are being killed all across the country,
Yeah.
right, by pretty much white officers? Like,
I know it's
what's the
upsetting
outlook
to
on
me.
that?
It's so upsetting. This morning, I go on Instagram and I'm reading my news, and there was an article about an athlete. I forget his name, but he was detained like this weekend or something,
Yeah, I've
and he
seen
was
that.
tased and things like that. And the first thought in my mind was, thank God they didn't shoot him. And I said, why is that my first reaction when I see a black man who was detained by cops to think, well, thank God they didn't shoot him.
Right.
Because there's been so many deaths and so many murders. And so I think it comes to a point where, yes, we can educate our youth, we can educate our black men, but there's just, I mean, at a certain point, you have to say, these people are against us. And so what can we do to protect ourselves? And I think that's why we are so distraught, and that's why I think that people are becoming bitter towards, just smaller things that have nothing to do with race. Now they're just nitpicking at everything because you feel helpless.
right.
You
It's
know?
to the point where you just automatically, like you say, you automatically assume that if there's a white officer involved and the person being detained is black, that there may be a situation that's
You
going to
never
happen.
know.
And I guess it's safe to say that I guess as people we have to try to find a balance, like not to always naturally assume
Yeah.
that these things are going to happen, because
it's
at the
so
end of the
hard.
day, it is very hard. But not all cops are bad.
Yeah.
So what do you think
That's
we need
true.
to do just as a black culture, just be more aware, just maybe educate ourselves on our rights? What do you think we can
take
do?
responsibility for some things, and I know, this turns into a whole nother type of
Oh, yeah.
conversation.
I don't know if we
But
have
at the
enough time.
same time, you are responsible for your actions.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you do have instances, and I'm not talking about anything that's hit the news or hot topics. I'm talking about just everyday in the hood type of issues that are happening with our black men and police officers, right? And them being singled out because their pants are baggy or
And
hanging
women
off.
now.
Right, and
Black
women,
Everyone.
absolutely.
Nobody's safe.
But then you have, what we have to teach our people, our men especially, is that, there's a certain way that you have to behave,
Yeah.
because you do have some individuals who,
Who may
don't-
just be
Will find
troublemaking.
anything. They will find anything. So don't give them,
right.
any room.
And
really.
because of all the movements that are happening across the country, they feel like they have the right to just say what they want to say, act how they want to act, and at the same time, you still have to act in a certain manner so that you don't bring on any, type of,
unnecessary,
right,
yeah.
You don't want to
unnecessary
antagonize
drama.
the situation, kind of bring it on.
Yeah.
I absolutely
Exactly.
agree with you, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
And any-
conversation
any-
can
So
go
what's the
on.
bottom line? The bottom line is what?
The bottom line is to
race
be
is
aware.
Do we ever think that racism is going to go away? Come
Wait,
on, girls, no. I mean, really.
I would like
I
to
have
live in
high
a
Think
hopes
world-
about
one
it. I
day.
don't care if you're black, white, or Asian. Being a black woman, have you ever had a racist moment where you looked at someone and was like, oh, snap, I was being racist right now?
Yeah, I do. I have times where I'll do like someone's accent, or I'll like insinuate or say something because I think that's what's been portrayed in the media. So I'm like, oh, you like this, don't you? And I'm like, and they're like, why you think I like that? Because I'm Latino, or like.
And then you have to take
you
yourself back
never
like, oh,
know.
I'm sorry, I didn't
And
even
you're
realize
like,
that could be
oh,
so offensive,
man,
because it
right.
happens so
Right.
easily
So it's almost
in
accidental
conversation.
at
Right.
times. So yeah, I get that, but I think that it's possible to live in a world where we can be more accepting of each other. I think that that's what the ultimate goal is.
Right.
For me to accept where you come from and to respect it. Respect is ultimately what we need to be trying to establish. Respect. Because that's
Absolutely.
where it stems from. You literally just don't respect me. You don't respect my culture. You don't respect my people. And that's where we have the biggest problems, the lack
Yeah.
of respect.
Well, I think having President Obama in office for 2 terms,
Yeah.
2 complete
Yes.
terms, I think that was
Sorry to
probably
see
our
him
first
go.
step, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
I think that was like a huge step for America,
Yeah,
right?
it
Because it
was.
wasn't just black people who voted for Obama.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Right?
very true.
So that speaks volumes, and that's just something that would not have ever happened in certain years.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
1960s, you probably wouldn't have seen that.
Probably,
Right?
for sure.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
So
So,
quickly-
I
Oh,
think
go
we
ahead.
can agree that
Yeah.
that's the bottom line, that we are moving into a direction where there's a possibility that we can one day realize a world where we can accept each other regardless of race, creed, religion, or culture.
It will happen one day.
Yeah.
It will happen. So let me ask one last question. I'm sorry. That was the bottom line. That was the bottom line.
That was a nice close too.
That was the
She was
bottom
like,
line.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I know, it was almost
But I
like I
got one more
rehearsed it.
thing
It was
to
like
say.
right on
That was
point, but
really
go ahead.
nice.
What do
go
you
ahead,
think we
Brittany.
can
That
do
was
as
very nice.
individuals to help make that change go on? Because you just talked about self-responsibility, you know, being accountable for your actions. What do you think that we can do as individuals to contribute to the...
It starts at home. I believe that everything starts at home. You know, what are you putting into your children? What are the conversations that you're having at the dinner table with your cousins and your aunts and your uncles and your parents?
Yeah.
You know, because it really starts there. People are so impressionable, you know, and they really take heed. You know, you were Miss Delaware, and when you talk, people listen. You know what I'm saying? And so the things that are coming out of your mouth, you have to be very careful
do.
because people will adopt your opinion about things just because you're you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and so it just starts there.
That's
You
very
know, we
true.
have to monitor our own tongues and make sure that we're speaking about things that bring life and not death.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
think
So
that's
I
very
love that answer. I didn't mean to cut down your bottom line. That's a beautiful bottom line.
that was even better one.
That was a really nice.
That was a beautiful
Well,
bottom
we're going to
line.
go ahead and jump over to. Oh, actually, we're going to
gonna
go
go
ahead
to a
and
break.
pay some bills. We're going to jump to a break, and then we're going back to Studio C for a hot interview with Nicole DeSarette.
Ooh.
Welcome back to The Bottom Line. I know you must be having a good time. I'm sitting in the other studio, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the ladies, and I wanted to be over there. So I'll tell you why, Deneen. You made a point about it starting at home and having conversations at the dinner table. That's where we're going awry right there. We're not eating together. We're not having those conversations where we are doing our own things, and it's us and our little devices. And so that's kind of where it starts. So we had to talk about that. And since all month is Women's History Month, the ladies of The Bottom Line, I just think we're going to take over. You with me? Yeah, all right. Okay. Speaking of ladies, I want you to know that this Saturday, March 12th, the Beautiful Gate Outreach Center is hosting their Saving Our Sisters annual event. It's their 11th annual event. It's a dynamic one-day conference acknowledging National Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day. The conference is for adult women and girls ages 12 years and above. If you would like more information, jump online and check out Beautiful Gate. I attended this event a number of years ago. Definitely worth going to, a great investment in your time. As you know, we're not hearing as much about HIV and AIDS as we did, let's say, a decade ago. The problem still exists, and we need to provide women and young girls with information. That's where it all starts. So if you are available this Saturday, beginning at 8 o'clock, you might want to check out this Saving Our Sisters conference. It's information that could possibly save your life. So we're going to jump from March to something wonderful that is happening right here in Wilmington in April. I am pleased to welcome two special guests to The Bottom Line. I have with me Miss Ashley Brennan and Mr. James Jobs. Thank you so much for being
Thank you for
here.
having us.
Thank you for having us.
And they are going to share information about the brain tumor walk that is going to happen at the Riverfront on Saturday, April 23rd. So again, welcome to the show. And we're going to start the conversation with Miss Ashley, who is the Regional Development Director for the Brain Tumor Society.
That's correct, the National Brain Tumor Society.
So tell us a little more about the society and your role in it.
So the National Brain Tumor Society is the largest research-based organization for brain tumors in the U.S. And what that means is we are strictly focused on finding a cure and improving the treatment options that are available for brain tumor patients. So 85 cents on every dollar that comes into our organization goes back to just that. And it's finding a cure and sustaining programs that lead us to better treatment options and more available options for our patients.
Great. And so the walk is on the 23rd, and I understand it's a 5K.
It is, but you can walk it.
Right, you can run it or you can walk it.
That's
and so a 5K is not 5 miles. It's a little over 3.1 miles,
3.1.
something like that. So if you are looking for an opportunity to start small, this is a great opportunity to get yourself back in shape. And it benefits a great cause. And it's really important that you talked about the percentage that goes back into research, because all organizations, you know, whether it's brain cancer or some other type of ailment, the numbers are different. You know, sometimes a lot of the monies that you contribute go into salaries or promotions. So the fact that it's going back into research is very, very important, because that's where we're going to find the cure in the research. So I'm glad you shared that information with us.
It's something we're very proud of. So I would scream it from the rooftops if I could. We're very proud of that.
Great. So talk a little more about the walk.
Sure. So I actually have with me a member of our leadership team here locally. The walk, I wish I could say I could do it by myself, but I can't. We have a leadership team of individuals who help facilitate the event and bring it to fruition. They work throughout the year to do so. And James is a member of that group as well as a team captain. And I'll let him sort of talk about what the event is like from a participant perspective. But, you know, our goal is to bring as many people together that care about the brain tumor cause and funding a cure, and bring them a place or provide them a place to come together, find camaraderie, while we're also raising awareness and money for research. So it's really a very cool event that I think provides a nice space for those that are interested in the brain tumor cause.
Okay, and I know that registration there, you're accepting walk-in registration at 8:30.
That's correct.
And the walk begins at 9:45, and you'll be home by lunchtime.
But don't go home for lunch, because we actually are very excited. We have Jimmy John's sandwiches
Okay.
as a lunch sponsor this year.
Wow.
So they will be providing lunch for our participants. So don't go home.
Okay,
Stay and hang
okay.
out.
And James, I know that this organization is very near and dear to your heart, and if you could just share with our viewing audience why that's the case and the leadership role that you have accepted with the society.
Sure. Well, I got involved with the National Brain Tumor Society, directly the Delaware Brain Tumor Walk, after my wife in 2012 was diagnosed with a brain tumor. As most know, with brain tumors, their survival rate is very low. My wife is a survivor, so I'm proud to say that. In order to help facilitate other families to not have to go through what we did, a grueling 11-hour surgery, nail biting for me, I have dedicated the last 2 years of helping promote as a volunteer, because most of the team captains and leadership committee are volunteers throughout the community, to help promote the walk. The walk, again, is a family event. It's generally 5K, as we say. People come out and they build teams, they build camaraderie, and we have a good time. From a captain's perspective, again, it's volunteer. You can sign up. The sign-up sheet or website will come up hopefully later on. But we'll be able to tell you and walk you through either being a volunteer, a team captain, or a participant. Once you sign up, a team captain's responsibility is basically just that, a motivator to get other people to sign up and join your team, and like to expand the teams out. Sometimes there's a little bit of team competition, if you will.
Ah, okay.
My first year was very entertaining. I made a promise with another team member, we were going to beat them. Well, they beat us a little bit, but this year we're getting them.
Okay.
We're doing very well this year. But
and you're hosting something special as a part of your team fundraising.
Yes.
If you could talk about that for a minute.
There's different events throughout the year. Each team has different ways they can fundraise. There's bowling events, there's bike rides, there's private parties. Well, Team Jobs, my last name, we're hosting a beef and beer at the Belvedere Fire Hall, April 8th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tickets are $25, which includes, of course, the beef, the beer. If you like anything stronger than beer or wine, that would be available for a cash price. We're also doing a 50-50 and some silent auctions. So there's some great prizes available, and we would like to see everybody to come out and join us at Belvedere Fire Hall on April 8th.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, as you could hear, James has a personal connection, and you did a great job explaining it. What he failed to do is give out a shout out to his wife. So we'll give him an opportunity, Miss Natalie, to redeem himself. So hurry up.
I'd like to give a shout out to Miss Natalie Jobs, my survivor. Thank you.
Wonderful. And I had a chance to meet Natalie, and she said next year she'll come on the set. But I said to Natalie, I said, Natalie, what would you like people to know from your perspective as a survivor? And she just wanted me to tell you thank you. You know, so if you haven't signed up to participate in this walk, please do. There's still time. And again, you can sign up the day of that Saturday, February, April 23rd. And, you know, I thank you, Ashley, for your work. And I thank you, James, because as a caregiver, you're a survivor. You know, I've been a caregiver, and I am a survivor. So it's a different path when you're a caregiver, and how to support the person that you care so much about. And so thank you for what you're doing, not only for your wife, but what you're doing in terms of helping other families. Because when you know that you're not alone, I believe that that's the beginning of the healing process. So thank you for what you're both doing. And, you know, if we can, at a later time, help you with other events, you know, that's why we're here. People need to know that they are not alone, and that there are organizations where you can come together for a good cause and help make a difference in the life of someone else. So thank you both. Would you like to say any closing remarks?
We hope to see everyone on April 23rd. It's going to be a beautiful day, and we're hoping for beautiful weather.
Right, and it is a rain or shine
Rain or
event.
shine, we will
and
be
you know
there.
what? For 3.1 miles, you can walk in a little
That's
rain.
right.
It's okay. As long as it's not thundering, we're
That's
good.
right.
So the walk is on the 23rd, and the
Yes.
beef and beer at Belvedere Fire Hall is
April
on
8th.
April 8th. Great, great. Thank you so much for
you.
both of you being here. And I think somebody by the name of Ed Johnson has entered the studio. So take it away with a sports update.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the sports segment of the show. I was a little bit shocked to see my good friend Jim Jobs on the set when I came in today, because me and him go back a long, long way. He used to work with me at Heritage Cablevision then, and that was many, many moons ago. But he's been a good friend of mine for many years, and I was kind of shocked to see him, and I just want to say hello to him. He's a good friend of mine. Okay, let's get to the sports segment. There's two big stories in the NFL today. Well, one, Peyton Manning has retired from NFL. He got a lot of help with that last Super Bowl win, so you know, I think they was trying to help him on his way with a Super Bowl championship. I take nothing away from the Denver Broncos, but some guys work all their lives to get to that point, and it's just a shame how that Carolina was treated that way in the Super Bowl. The other story that we're looking at is the story of Maria Sharapova. She tested positive today for a banned substance in the Australian Open that just passed by. Maria, from what I understand, it's going to be a hefty suspension for her. So they're saying she might have to retire after this, but hopefully she'll continue to do what she has to do and come through this and still play, because she's a great player. Okay, NCAA tournament is upon us. The men's side, it's going to be kind of hectic because of the fact that it's all up in the air. I suspect that some small team from somewhere is going to come out of this and win that championship, because it's so up in the air. I've never seen it so many good players and so many good divisions over there in the NCAA tournament. And this tournament should start sometime this week. On the women's side, the UConn Husky women are on an incredible run, and I spoke about that the last time that I spoke on the show. Last time I counted, they had won 64 straight games, hadn't lost a game in over 3 seasons, and are poised to win their 4th straight championship, and I think they will do that. Okay, in closing, I just want to say that sports, the sports thing that we got going on in the city, I'm going to report on a lot of games that's going on within the state's division. I'm going to report on that the next time that I speak. And also, I like to say that we got a lot of young, good players that are coming out of the NFL. The NFL draft is coming up on April the 29th and the 30th. Hopefully, all the teams will get some of the good players that's coming out. A lot of players are going to be doing their thing, so hopefully every team will do well in that. I want to close out by saying good night to everybody, and we're going to get ready to take it over. We're going to take a small break before we go back over to my good friends, Nicole. Take care.
Okay, so we're back. You've tuned into The Bottom Line, and earlier we were talking about racism. We were talking about how we're going to kind of go into another place of acceptance and respect. And I think one of the huge things that have been making a huge difference is entertainment kind of coming about and making it not an awkward issue anymore. They're taking steps to really practice what they're preaching, basically. And I know in a show called Blackish, there was a scene that was just so phenomenal because it really looked like something that would have taken place in my home. Like, it would have been a conversation that my parents had, and it was about, you know, their kids are sitting there and they're all there as a family and they're watching the news, and yet again someone has been reported either, you know, wounded or shot by a police officer, and, you know, the mom is like, you know, don't scare our kids, don't scare our kids. And you could just see the dad with so much fear but love in his eyes saying, you know, we can't scare them, but we can't lie to them.
Right.
This is where we are. We're in a place where you could go out and get some snacks and not come back.
Right.
You know, and so I think that with the media paying more attention to what's going on and knowing that so many people are tuning into these shows weekly, that the message is getting across. And I salute shows that take the time to tackle these issues.
Absolutely. And so when we're talking about real issues, I want to make a small announcement about a real issue that's being addressed in households right here in our own city. I don't know if you guys remember, but Coley Harris and Amar Melton are a father and son duo who put on a dynamic presentation called Out of the Ashes. And on March 11th, which is this Friday, from 7:30 p.m. at the State Building, which is 820 North Front Street, they're actually holding their DVD release celebration. They were actually picked up by a National Fatherhood Initiative organization, which is nationally known. And so that curriculum is actually, or that DVD is being added to the Inside Out Dad curriculum. So it's just a huge ordeal. Coley Harris and Amar are doing a dynamic thing. Coley, as you know, was in jail for I think 17 years, or he was away for his son for that period of time while he was incarcerated. And so they actually do an open presentation, very transparent about what happened during that time period and what it took for them to actually establish a relationship after being away from each other for so long. So it's an amazing, amazing presentation.
Wow.
And on this Friday, March 11th at the State Building at 7:30, they're going to be celebrating the next level of this Out of the Ashes.
Wow, that's amazing.
So it is absolutely amazing. So definitely, if you're available 7:30 on Friday, stop by, wish them luck, celebrate with them. They're doing dynamic things, and I just know great things are to come. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the night.
I know.
The bottom line was kind of hot tonight.
It was popping. I thought it was great. It was good.
Yeah.
Great
so,
interview. Great. Was it a 5K that they're doing?
Yeah.
That we need to all be there. We need to form a team.
You know,
the bottom line team.
I agree with that. You
Yeah.
know, and because I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying it, but my mother actually had a brain tumor, and so when I was listening, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a supporter.
It hits close to
Oh
home.
my- yeah, because you don't realize it when you're in it and you're just moving with the flow. You
Yeah.
don't realize what's happening around you, and so definitely a powerful movement. And you need
Yes.
to be there.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Catch the replay this Friday from 5 to 6, and we'll see you again next Monday from 8 to 9 right here at Studio A on the Bottom Line.
Thanks for watching, you guys.